This question comes from Jake Edwards. Thank you, Jake Edwards.
Thank you.
Jake asks, if you beat somebody half to death twice, are they exactly dead, or are they 1/4 dead?
They're fourth dead. What do you
And
want
see,
from me?
they're 4th dead. I thought, that's a really interesting question. I don't think it's either.
Interesting. Why?
Well, because if you beat somebody half to death, it's
Oh.
like they're halfway from where they were to getting dead. So after once they're half dead, and after twice they're 3/4 dead. You don't remove the
Okay.
amount of dead by beating them half to death a second time, because that would say, I beat them half to death. They're half dead, and now I beat them half dead. No, they're only 1/4 dead. You helped them by beating them half to death. In that
Okay,
case.
yeah. But this is, I guess.
So I would argue three-quarters dead. Correct?
I would think 3/4. Yeah. I think it's also
Okay, so we can go further. There,
yeah.
you go ahead.
I, it's almost over, man. All right. So I think it's fascinating to think of it, and it also matters the duration that you allow a resting period. How much are you letting them gain life back? Now, did you beat them half to death and then give them like 30 seconds to breathe, and then you're going right back to town? Because then you're beating them half
Yeah,
to
because
death.
30
then,
seconds, that's enough to drink like 5 health potions. You know?
See, Will knows his mana mamma jamma.
That's what I'm saying.
But if you beat them half to death, give them, let's say, a week, and then you go back and do it again. Well, who knows where they're at now? Who knows how dead they are? Were they dead inside to start with?
That is a variable
Also important.
I haven't thought of. I haven't thought of time as a variable. You're correct. So here's what I'm thinking. You know in Pokemon,
Yep.
Yep. How they have those moves. I think it's called like false swipe, something like that.
All
That
right.
sounds right.
All right,
The
yeah.
one that always, no matter what it hits, it will always leave you. It won't kill you. It will always put it down to like 1 hit point. You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're saying. Yes.
I think that's what beating a person half to death eventually becomes if you do it over and over again, because it's its own form of torture. It's like, oh, what are we going to do? Are we going to waterboard them? No, we're going to beat them half to death about 13 times. And what you do when you do that, this is a dark episode. You beat them half, and then 3/4, and then 7/8, and then 15/16, and then 31/32, and then 63/64, and it just goes on. And you really can't ever get yourself full dead. You'll be very close, and at some point you're probably just a stiff breeze away from getting there. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I think it's like you can never actually do it. If you continually beat a person half to death, you'll never kill them.
Much like in SpongeBob, when the group of people look at the old man and say, "How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?" Apparently,
It's just like that. Yes.
very often, because he's never going to be fully taught. It's only half taught over and over and over again. There's a very sad thing where maybe mentally you're all the way dead. Depending on, like, if this is your friend beating you half to death, and you just think, wow, my friends beat me half to death twice. So they did this once and thought, I didn't do enough, and I gotta go back. So at that point, maybe you're thinking, oh no, okay, so it's a problem. I feel all the way dead inside. Yeah, okay, cool. You're never gonna fully get there, but maybe you wish.
Maybe you wish. And if you need help, just reach out to us, man. That's what the advice is for, you know? We're not therapists, but we can steer you in the right direction.
I'm on the wrong side of therapism right now. I want to know how you're beating this man half to death. What are you using? Fist?
I'd like to imagine a person comes in for a therapy session like the first time, and they're like, and you're like, what's wrong? And you're like, somebody beat me half to death. And they're like, tell me how that happened. I'm curious. And that's like kind of how you start. I'm just like, tell me that process. That's really interesting, actually. And that's just how you kind of start off with the therapy.
They're unintentionally fascinated, and they're just like, I have this one patient. Yeah, he got beaten half to death with a spoon, and then the next day half to death with a fork, and he's still not all the way dead because that's not how numbers work. And then they're just like, so as your first of all, you shouldn't be sharing this information as patient doctor confidentiality, whatever. Second of all, you shouldn't be so excited about this news, should you? And he's like, I can't help it. I've never heard of something like this happening.
Yeah, you're far too curious, Greg. I'm sorry. This isn't okay. I was just too curious.